Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the 12th Man. I'm your host Prakash, and this is my co-host Praddy. And so let's talk about Game Week 4, the final one before the international break.
Yeah. So let's start off with the first match that kicked off Game Week 4, and which was the first match on Saturday, which was Leicester versus Liverpool at the King Power Stadium. Not an easy place to go to.
Not at all, especially with Vardy there.
Well, Vardy wasn't there.
I guess.
Because he got a red card. So that was that was a comforting factor going in, that the person who has the best record against the top six wasn't there, was rather in the stands. And we were going in with a good momentum, winning 3 on the trot without letting in any goals. And it looked like we were continuing with that momentum 4 minutes in when Salah, I don't know how he missed it from like 2 yards out.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the goals that he's been scoring.
He would have scored last year.
I mean, last year, even this year, when he started off, he has he has scored already. But we saw even last year when he started off, he did miss a couple of easy chances. He gets better as the season goes on, so hopefully that'll happen. But
I think that's true. I think what happened in this game was I felt like he wanted to score, that he tried really hard to score, and that kind of like pushed him away from like better opportunities.
Yeah, so he always, sometimes I think he gets a little too greedy or like too desperate to score. Yeah. I mean, that was clear.
The ball was on for like both Mane on the right.
Yeah.
And Firmino too, I think.
Yeah, and it was like even last year when he had to break the record. Yeah, like the 32 goals, he tried so hard at some points it just felt a little futile because it just felt too desperate. But anyway, it took only 10 minutes for us to open the scoring. Mane, slightly fortunate. Robertson was brilliant on the left wing. Left back position. Well, then he moved forward.
Yeah, pretty much left wing at this point.
Exactly.
Like,
and
so
so
far
he
forward.
bombed past the Leicester defense and it came off Maguire's foot, hit Mane on the chest, and then it fell nicely for Mane to again hit it on the rebound. And I think the first half Liverpool completely dominated.
Yeah, right.
I think we were the exciting side that everyone talks about. The front three were clicking. The midfield was, well, this time without Naby Keita, it was one-paced because Henderson, Milner, and Wijnaldum kind of played a similar game, but it still clicked. And I think it was a matter of how many goals we would score, but it only turned out to be 2. Firmino scoring the header in the 44th minute, just before halftime, and that kind of
that was a good header.
Yeah, and it's good if you score in those like dead moments. Just before the halftime, because your team talk suddenly changes inside the dressing room from just being 1-0 down to 2-0 down.
Definitely, yes.
But that didn't stop Leicester from coming out in the second half and going.
And then that was a very, very, very interesting part, because while watching that I remember thinking how last week we spoke so highly about Alisson mucking about as a goalie, doing chips over like forwards, and I guess he got confident again.
Yeah,
and
just
tried
overconfident.
The same thing.
Yeah,
and it doesn't work with strikers, because strikers don't really fall for pace.
Exactly.
Fall for tricks. Like, they just go straight for the ball, take it, and they want to shoot.
Right.
And I guess.
It all began with Henderson putting Gomez under pressure. Gomez.
Gomez.
Gomez under pressure. I don't know where
okay.
I want to say Joe Gomez, and I was like,
he's English. He's English, and you're like, the guy's name is not Gomez. He's got to be a Joe. Like, he's English, like.
Because it's Joe Gomez, and I wanted to say both at the same time. Anyway, so Gomez. So putting Gomez under pressure, and then he passing it to Van Dijk. Van Dijk should have cleared it. Like Klopp said, they had a couple of chances to clear the ball, but the thing with Liverpool is that, right now, is that because the backline know that Alisson's such a good goalkeeper and that he can play out of with his legs, he can play like an outfield player. They kind of use him as a regular go-to rather than an option. And sometimes it does not work out because these are teams that press you.
Leicester especially too. Can
so
if they want.
If a team is sitting back, you can then pass it because Alisson got all the time in the world. But
Yeah.
this is a new league even for Alisson. You won't have this kind of pressing in the Italian league, in Serie A. So he tried something, it didn't work out. I'm actually not too worried. Had it been Karius, I'd have been a little pissed off, because first of all, he isn't a great goalkeeper, and then to try something like this would have been even more shambolic.
Yeah.
But the thing with Alisson is that prior to this, he made so many good saves. He actually stopped a couple of shots from going in. So he does.
His confidence was riding high, and it did seem like he would be fine with it. But
he can take care of the game. He can he can do the basics right. And that's the most important thing. These are just for show off, and I don't mind the odd
these Brazilians will remain Brazilians.
Exactly.
Right? That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's a mistake. He'll learn from it.
Yeah.
And I think
after they scored that goal, I mean, Leicester were really out to look
for blood.
Out for blood.
They were looking for it, because you know that there's pressure. When it's okay if a striker makes a mistake, it's fine. It's okay if a cam makes a mistake, but when a goalie makes a mistake, that shock reverberates throughout the whole team.
Right.
It sends like the confidence of the whole team away for a bit. Because that's the most vulnerable spot, right?
It does, because again, that brings me to the point that had it been Karius, as a keeper, his confidence would have been at an all-time low.
Yeah, right.
But I think Alisson still has a stronger mentality, which is why Klopp is not afraid to kind of go and say, cut this shit out. Like, had it been Karius, he'd have said, oh, there's something wrong. Like, he'll kind of calm him down, treat him like a son or a young child.
Yeah, right.
But with Alisson, he knows that he's paid so much.
No. What I'm talking about is when I said I'm talking about the confidence issue. I'm talking about after the goal went down. You saw how much pressure that Liverpool was under. That was something that when a goalkeeper ends up making a mistake for the next part of the game, you're actually covering your asses a lot more than you would be doing.
Exactly, so. And I completely agree with that. And we did seem a little shaken. I've seen enough, even of Real Madrid, to see that when defense falls down or a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it can just get into a panic mode, right? But the fact is that because Alisson has a strong mentality, we could still hang on to that lead that we had.
Right.
Because had Karius won, it would have been much more panicky. So
and it worked out. So at least the win is a win, even if it's a foul.
Top of the group.
it owes to the dominance from the first half. So let's move on to the other game.
Yeah.
We then have Brighton Fulham, which was a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, 2-2. And it was actually quite I think one of the more exciting matches. The other one being, we'll come to that later, but
with the penalty one.
Brighton gets the penalty. I think it was Pascal Gross who misses the penalty. It was decent penalty, but it was a good save. So it's more a good save than a bad penalty.
I would say so. Yeah, it was in the ground, bottom left corner, but it was a good save.
And not
strong
too
right
far,
onto the ground. Yeah.
But then Fulham came back, Andre Schürrle finally scoring.
Yep.
Waiting for this guy to do something, and he finally, kind of rebounded off, bounced everywhere, and he just tapped it in. But still, a goal's a goal.
A goal's a goal.
And then
that's what he's good at. So.
Yeah, and then came Mitrovic. I think his was really good.
Yeah.
I think from the wings, I think he.
So it's it's crazy. Scores a crazy goal and then goes from hero to zero. And
exactly.
Gives a penalty away to Brighton, and then Brighton have their chance.
I think Glenn Murray, for being 34, 35, I think he's just there are only 7 people. No, I think there's only 7 people ahead of him in terms of the number of goals scored since last year or something.
Yeah.
And those are from the big teams like Liverpool, Manchester City.
Right. He's got some 14, 15 goals since August 2017.
Yeah, I think he's one behind Firmino, and that's saying something.
It's insane.
It's
but
crazy.
He also takes the penalties too, so.
No, but that's true. It's like Harry Kane scoring.
Wait, it's Harry Kane.
But
like that.
But still, you gotta convert it.
It's a big achievement. Yeah. For a team like Brighton, who I don't think focus on one person completely. The whole team works together. It's not like Spurs where they somehow get Harry Kane.
He's not really a main man, or there's no one person.
He's not he's not a focal point, but he still scores a lot, which is, I think, a great achievement in itself.
Yeah.
So he with his sheer willpower and his energy and his things, he brings the team back.
Yeah, it was actually. Brighton had very good chances in the first half, especially, and you'd kind of see at home is where they perform their best. Away
Yeah.
they haven't collected as many points as they would like to, but their home is their strength, and that's where they get most of the points, and that's how they survived last season.
Right. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see whether they do the same this year as well.
I think they will. I have a big. I really like Brighton. I really like their manager too. He was actually under Spurs. He was an assistant coach under Spurs.
Yeah.
So
and then he went to Newcastle. He was as well, and then Norwich. I think as well. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
anyway,
so let's check out the next game: Chelsea versus Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Another game, another clean sheet for Sari.
Well, he hasn't had only. This is the first one, I think.
No,
second one. The first game against Huddersfield.
Right, 3-0.
Yeah,
right.
Otherwise it was Arsenal where they lost 2, and then the one against. Yeah. Wait, this was against Bournemouth, right? So the other one was against Newcastle where Huddersfield scored, correct? Last.
Huddersfield.
And anyway, so I think
it was a tight game for a huge part of it. I mean, Bournemouth is a team that usually attacks and leaves it back open and gets scored on a lot. So I would have thought this would be a goal fest, but seeing how Chelsea were playing, but it was 0-0. What, the 60th minute or I don't know.
No, it was the 70th, 80th minute where Pedro came on as a substitute, and then Giroud assisted. But I think I should say before that, I saw a couple of chances where Callum Wilson had missed a really good chance. And I think Nathan Ake missed a header from a corner, and Bournemouth did have their chances, and they were resolute at the back. But I mean, this Chelsea side can break down teams, especially with the likes of Hazard.
Like once you have that, like somebody like that who can bring something out of nowhere, like something like even when Liverpool used to face that problem back in the day, you would have a Coutinho who just like pull something out of somewhere, score a goal. So you have that talisman, some guy who just can unlock defenses.
I just have to mention one more person from Chelsea, which is Marcos Alonso. That guy, I think he's one of the most attacking fullbacks,
left backs
in the world. Not only in the Premier League, in the world. He acts more as a striker than the number of times he's there in the penalty box. It's astounding. And I mean, it's a tip for anyone who plays fantasy football that please put him in. He's guaranteed points.
Yeah, man. I think one very interesting thing I found was just like how Pep Guardiola likes to play with inverted fullbacks. He makes his fullbacks come into the middle of the field. You can start to see the same kind of formation with Sarri too. You'd see Alonso actually, instead of making overlapping runs, he was making underlapping runs in the Chelsea Bournemouth game. So it's another I guess like reflection of the Pep Guardiola system where you have the fullback who's so vital to the game and was actually such an important part of the attacking.
I think even against Newcastle I think it was against Arsenal when he scored that goal, he came inside the penalty box rather than go outside and cross it in.
It's the inverted fullback position again, so coming in.
Yeah, so
Chelsea, I guess keep him in your fantasy teams, guys. Like, do not play without Alonso in your fantasy.
So Chelsea 4 out of 4 as well.
Yep.
With all this talk about Chelsea needing to rebuild again under Sarri, it seems like he's already got them ticking.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, this is a Premier League winning team. It won the Premier League under Mourinho. It won the Premier League under Conte.
Yeah.
Right. So this team has its foundations. It's strong. So once you have a very strong team setup, sure, like shit can go wrong once in a while, but like the thing is there, like the talent is there, the skill is there. It's just about the manager bringing it out of them.
Yep. All right. So what's the next match that we have?
We have Crystal Palace versus Southampton. Ooh. Which did not go according to plan at all.
Yeah, I
thought Southampton are getting relegated.
No, yeah, I thought Crystal Palace had this because they had the likes of Zaha and Townsend, and they did pretty well.
They did have many chances too. They did.
They did? Okay.
Who
scored for Southampton? Danny Ings.
Danny Ings and Højbjerg.
Wait, wasn't Højbjerg sent? Oh, I think they have an FA Cup final or a League Cup thing in between because he was sent off last week.
Really?
Yeah, in that whole everyone getting a red card, wasn't that last week where he got sent off?
Oh yeah.
And we kept saying, "Who's this Højbjerg?" And
Højbjerg.
Yeah, we said because he got a double yellow, so that means one game missed.
Shit.
But that
I guess might have been a League Cup third round game or some shit in between.
Yeah, I think so. because
Oh well.
yeah.
So yeah, 2 goals, one for Ings, one for
It was
Iberg,
good to
and
see Ings do well. I mean, not having
Danny
chances
Ings.
at Liverpool and going back to Southampton. It's nice to see him. Apparently, he and Mo Salah have a bet to see who scores the most number of goals this season.
Really?
Yeah, he's ahead right now.
Oh well, it's okay. You can move players between your reserves and main team.
Yeah.
Reserves being Southampton.
Exactly.
Happens all the time. So let's go to the next one, which was Everton versus Huddersfield.
Yeah.
1-1.
Huddersfield
What was
took
the
the
scoreline?
lead, yeah. Initially.
I don't know. What do you think about Everton so far?
They rely on Richarlison initially. For all the signings that they've made, they aren't the most defensive of teams.
Right, like Pickford had to do like crazy number of like stops in that game. Like
they bought the likes of Yerry Mina, Andre Gomez, Lucas Digne. For all the defensive players that they bought, they still conceded goals. I mean, it's I don't know. Maybe it takes time for them to gel. Marcus Silva needs time, but even attacking wise, it's only Richarlison and Theo Walcott.
Walcott, right? Yeah.
So, and now Walcott got injured and got he had to be taken off after the after the 1 hour mark.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and just when I put him in the fantasy team.
Did you actually?
Yeah. I think he scored so many times. I was like, okay, maybe without Richarlison, maybe they'll need Walcott to score. Put him in, he gets injured.
I think we just have to wait, see how the team gels. Like there's been so much turnover with that team.
Yeah.
With the managers, players, and like especially when you have a very terrible season the season before, like it's like we have to give them a little bit more time, I think. And international break would be good because they'll have time to like at least work on some more tactics and shit.
I think Huddersfield also need to work around it because they haven't had a good streak, but they have played the likes of City, Chelsea.
Right, but yeah, they have had tough fixes. But speaking of terrible results, the next game was West Ham Wolves. West Ham, the team with Arnautovic, the team being managed by Pellegrini, a Premier League winning manager.
And the amount that they spent like 100 million or something this summer on Felipe Anderson. I don't know who else they have, but
with four losses in a row, bottom of the table, not even like.
I can get the loss against Arsenal and Liverpool, fine, but the others they needed to win those.
Yeah, even with Arnautovic continuously scored a couple times actually, but even with that, this is Wolves, right? It's a new team. They're there for the taking.
Yeah.
But okay, so on the other side, you can also argue that Wolves were really, really good in the championship. Like they were the team with the 100 points
and they've performed decent even in the Premier League since they've come. The draw against City. Draw against Everton, they do know how to score, but yeah, you'd expect this one. I mean, you'd expect West Ham to at least put up a fight.
At least, yeah, exactly. At least put up a fight.
At home.
Right, exactly. So, it's getting really, really, really sad to see. Like West Ham fans have been seeing shit for a few years now, and it's just getting frustrating. If I was a West Ham fan, I would be so angry. Like this just doesn't make sense what they're doing. It's just they've got to dig themselves out. The further you follow, the harder it is to come up.
Yeah, and West Ham fans are vocal. It's not like they aren't. I mean, you've seen it even last year when they were vocal against the owners. So you'd expect something soon. I think Pellegrini could be sacked anytime soon.
This time last year, we had 4 losses out of 4 for Crystal Palace, and the manager was sacked already.
Yeah.
So
time for Big Sam.
Time for Big Sam, exactly. Just keep Big Sam in. You don't need all this fancy football shit. Okay, get Big Sam in, play the ball long, get your meat pies.
Yep. All right. So that next brings us to our last game on Saturday, which is
last game on Saturday.
Yes. Manchester City versus Newcastle.
Oh my God, so frustrating. So frustrating. They actually had so frustrating in the sense that Newcastle can attack if they want to. Like they did play,
but they don't have the firepower as such.
It astounded me how beautiful that ball was from Rondon to Yedlin.
Oh yeah, Yeah.
And this is Manchester City, right? They unlocked that defense. They came up. I mean, that was the only shot on target they had the whole game. Yeah, sure. But like, they completely unlocked the team, and it was such a beautiful goal to see. At least they could, if they're so good at defending, just defend for the rest of the 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah, last week people were criticizing Benitez for playing defensive, but they were at home but at home.
Yeah.
But I think this tactics was spot on against City. You had to contain City, right?
Yeah,
and they did. I mean, okay, Raheem Sterling goal first. It actually took two.
That was 2 minutes.
It actually took not only 2 minutes, but it actually took two insane shots for City to actually beat Newcastle United.
I mean, okay, sure, okay. Walker, you can't do much about, but Sterling, you can. That was a cut-in shot.
Sterling, Benitez will be pissed off. His defense should have done better there.
That was just, I saw that, and watching the match, 2 minutes in, he scores that, and I'm just like, well, you know what the hell can you do after this? It's just, if you can't stop these shots, you deserve to get.
I mean, you're letting Sterling come on into his right easy. I mean, exactly. That's like letting Coutinho take that kind of shot. You know it is ending up in the back of the net.
Exactly. You just gotta contain that. You gotta put two people, put a screen in there, block the shit out of that.
But I thought after Newcastle equalized, they could kind of have drawn it or at least kept City at bay. And it took. I mean, what's with fullbacks and scoring from outside the box, man?
I know.
We've seen Nacho, Pavard, now Kyle Walker. It's just it was nothing wrong that Newcastle did, because you would be happy if someone like Kyle Walker took a shot from that far out.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I mean, how often is he going to hit the target? Unfortunately, it was at 1 out of 100 times that he got it.
And it was his first ever goal for Manchester City. So that's a great way to come to your first goal.
Yeah, man. But it's stuff like this.
So let's get to the Sunday games now.
Ooh,
so the first game we had was Cardiff versus Arsenal.
This was the most entertaining match I saw this weekend, man. It was.
Oh yeah.
It was so open. I mean, okay, so Arsenal
the only thing I loved about this game was watching Czech try to play out from the back. Like that was the best.
I said the guy cannot play from the back with his feet.
Can't do shit.
But but I wanted to first give Emery kudos for playing Lacazette and Aubameyang together.
Yeah,
finally got what I've been crying out for, even though I'm not an Arsenal fan, but play them together. That's the most entertaining part, where you've got the likes of Lacazette and Aubameyang. Obviously, Mickey didn't play. I think he should start instead of Ramsey, but still.
What was the formation again? Do you remember?
4-2-3-1.
With Lacazette on the left?
Aubameyang on the left, Lacazette up front.
Oh, okay.
Ramsey in the center, Ozil on the right, and Ozil struggled on the right. I don't know why people play him on the right. He did stuff off the ball, but he can't play there. He doesn't like to play there. Second half, when he came into the center, he kind of controlled the game a lot more.
Okay.
But talking about chances, and oh my God, Petr cannot play from the back. When he just gave a pass straight to the Cardiff midfielder Harry Arter, and that guy should have scored. He just skied. I mean, like I was watching Arsenal.
This game could have ended up.
Yeah, I was watching Arsenal fan TV, and they said had it been anybody else, any good side, they would have been hammered.
Well, yeah, I get that. I feel like the issue, it just comes down to, again, like a problem with. I mean, the attack is good. We know that. Yeah. We've seen them tear apart Chelsea also with how many chances they had in that game. We can see Lacazette, Aubameyang.
Yep.
We have Mkhitaryan and Ozil. They can play beautiful passes, score beautiful goals, sure. But again, like, if your defense is weak, it's just you can't let that happen.
And actually, to be fair, against Cardiff, the defense is decent. Okay, I'd say decent.
Like, the thing is, Cardiff could have had 2-3 more goals. Even with the Czech mess ups. I mean, that guy slips in front of goal. You're 1-on-1 with the goalie. Like, even after he slipped, he still had the whole goal open to him. He just had to place it right. But no, like, the guy ends up skying.
Like, the thing with Cardiff is that they hadn't scored a goal in the Premier League this season until Sunday, until
Oh my
yesterday.
gosh.
They were
So like,
all like 0-0 or 1-0 losses
oh
or whatever,
yeah. I
right?
haven't scored a single
So
goal in the
they
Premier League
hadn't
all
scored.
season.
So
Scores
because
2 against Arsenal. Like,
yeah, and not only that, but because they hadn't scored, their strikers are kind of rusty, and
okay.
their shots are going all wayward and all over the place.
Okay.
It's a wonder how they managed to score even those 2 goals, but they did. But oh my
But
god,
I think we should just give him time. We should give Emery time too. I think he will come off well.
I think so too. I think there is a style of play that he's embedding into the players. Xhaka needs to be dropped. Torreira needs to come in. That's the next big change that he needs to do.
Okay,
And
sure.
Leno.
I think he should be in for a new goalkeeper at the end in the next transfer window. Or the
No,
end
he's got burnt Leno.
Leno's good with his feet?
Yeah, he plays for Bayer Leverkusen with his feet. So I remember after the first Manchester City thing where Czech almost scored an own goal trying to pass it back.
So then this could just be like a version of like giving Czech a noose to hang himself, right? Like show the world why I'm taking Czech out, because he's been such an integral part to Arsenal for quite a long time. You can't just come in and like take him out. So to show the world, like, look,
this is why I'm taking him out. Guardiola did that with Joe Hart. He came in and said, exactly. I don't care. He didn't even play Joe Hart. He came in and said, I don't like you. Just get out. Then it's like, you could do that. But I don't know. I think Arsenal are just too nice to say get lost.
Right. And also, like, the fans are just a lot more demanding than I would say City's fans are. So I think you got to play some more politics with Arsenal than you have to do with City.
So. Yeah.
Which is what I would say, well, with United too. Speaking of politics and getting fans on your side against the board, there was that stupid banner that flew over. That was just like ridiculous. Like no United fan actually wants to see that.
Ed Woodward, specialist in failure, sponsored by Jose Mourinho.
Like it is ridiculous. Like there are many better ways to protest than doing shit like that. So I'm not a fan of that. But let's move on to the football part of the game. We had Lukaku score a brace.
And could have had a hat-trick. Pogba
should have had a hat-trick. We have a penalty. Yeah. Like, see, the thing is, let's talk the positives first, I guess. First half, all positive. Dominated the game. Yeah. Burnley had no chance whatsoever. Lingard had so many chances. Yes. I mean, I actually, it was a really early game for me, so I missed the first 15 minutes. And I walked in and I was like, oh, it's still 0-0. And then they showed a clip of all the chances that had happened, all the chances that Lingard had in those first 15 minutes to score a goal.
It was he was free, man. He had yards of space to run to.
Right. And so they took the game to Burnley. They attacked them. They didn't sit back like they did last year. Last time when we played Burnley away, it was weird. Two teams that play low block defenses, both of them sit back. We're both sitting back again. So we were just like, both of them were like, what are we going to do? So thankfully we didn't see that shit this time. We had United bring it on, and Big Rom showed up, scored a brace, scored 2 goals. With the first goal coming from Sanchez's dink, that cross right in. And that's what he needs. He needs service. He needs somebody who can get him the ball and he will score goals. Don't give the ball to his feet. Okay, don't put him in a one-on-one situation with the goalie. Don't ever do that.
One-on-one situation. But I mean, finally he did some stepovers. I was like, who's this person? Lukaku doesn't do stepovers, and he got past it.
He does. He actually can do it really well. Except that he can do it really well when there's somebody to beat. If not, if it's an open goal, he just somehow messes up for some stupid reason. He just don't know. He just don't know. He just doesn't know what to do. He just freaks out, I guess. But he had a chance to have the first hat-trick since Robin van Persie in the Premier League for United.
Wow.
Ibra has had a hat-trick, but in the Europa. In the Europa. But in the Premier League, we haven't had a hat-trick since Robin van Persie. So that is something that he could have broken that night, and I was really looking forward to it. Yeah. And well, I guess one person to blame on that instance would be Pogba. We win a penalty. The sign of a mature captain, I guess, would be, trust your teammates. I'm sure he's probably the assigned penalty taker. Yeah. Maybe he is. Sure. Yeah. But even then, I think that Lukaku should have had the confidence or to walk up and ask for the ball. He should have asked for it. And Pogba should have given it to him. Sure, it's a risk. If a striker misses a hat
You
trick
were
chance,
you were
you lose
anyway winning
confidence.
that match like comfortably. So
Yeah,
why not just give him for extra boost of confidence too? Like that. First of all, I don't get the whole run up of Pogba. It just seems so silly. Okay, that whole
like it just invites criticism. That's the problem with that. It's like if you score a goal, they're like, okay, you scored a goal. If you miss, they're like, look at this idiot. That's what happens with something like that.
yeah, but I don't know. Maybe that tactic of that or that run up works in distracting the keeper, but it just seems so silly when he runs, struts up like, or he does a little shuffle
Yeah,
and
definitely right.
walks up,
I,
and he missed the penalty. And I mean, that's why we criticize him. He should have given it to Lukaku. Maybe had he buried it, he would have been like, oh, he scored. Maybe
mhm.
he needs that little bit of confidence rather than Lukaku. And
But he has been continuously scoring his penalties. He scored 2 penalties so far,
yeah,
so he does have it. I just think that this was a chance for him to be mature, to show his captain side of the game,
yeah,
which he didn't. So that's a little bit of frustration from my end. But one thing that I absolutely adored about this game was seeing Luke Shaw again bomb
yeah,
up and down that left flank.
yeah,
It's almost like having a whole new signing, seeing the player that he's coming out to be, turning out to be.
yeah.
This is the first time he's had 4 consecutive full-time games, 90-minute games since his injury, that
Well,
double leg fracture 4 years ago.
uh,
So it might seem like we have a resurgence in the left back side of things
mm,
too. And if Dalot comes good, we have 2 fullbacks who can attack, and
yeah.
I'm
I
sure that
mean,
should help with that
I
game.
should actually also mention that Burnley were terribly poor, and this is at Turf Moor where
Yep,
it used to be the stronghold. It was the stronghold last
yep.
season. They used to sit back. The defense was compact, and then they used to beat people on the counter attack or set pieces.
Yep.
And they've this season it's just not been there.
Yeah, you can
What
blame it to the tiredness from Europa, but the
I-
good thing is that distraction is gone now. They're out of it, I think.
yeah, they are.
So
I mean, they
they should be fine. They should be just concentrating on the Premier League now.
yeah,
They have 2 weeks to recuperate, get the energy back, and I'm sure Burnley will be back up on that horse. They are
yeah.
not going down. They are not.
I doubt it. And I mean, we should also talk about Rashford getting a red card. It seems similar to the Richarlison headbutt
I guess
that he got.
it's consistently stupid. So
No, yeah.
fair enough.
I mean, I think from a referee's perspective, it has to be consistent because you can't give a red card to the Everton
Right.
Richarlison for doing that and then
I
say
don't
no
believe
to.
that it's a red card in general.
I don't
But
think
but if
either
you're
were
giving
red cards.
Richarlison a red card, you should give this guy a red card.
Exactly. I
So
don't
fair
think
enough.
either were a red card. It was yellow card max, right? I mean, you can't
Right.
get to it.
You can't.
Warning would have been too light. It had to be a card.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
red was not the color that I would have gone for either case.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I mean, it's kind of showing that you need to be on your. You can't be stupid now because even the
Or you
slightest.
can't be volatile. Like, what's this? Like, why are you taking emotions out of the game? Like, this
Yeah.
guy just literally kicked him, tripped him out of the ground,
Yeah.
and you're just gonna you'll be like, okay, thank you for kicking me
No,
while I'm on the
I
ground.
guess I mean you can react, but like not headbutting someone.
It wasn't a headbutt, right? It was a head touch. He walked up and put his head against the other guy. And
The
like
other
that
guy got
happens
a yellow,
all
but
the
yeah,
time in football, right? It's like that's just what it is.
it is. Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
let's move on to the final game of Sunday. Watford versus Spurs.
This is going to be interesting because both had won 3 out of 3. So
Yeah.
one of them were, I mean, one or both of them were likely to lose points, right? Had it been a draw,
Yes.
both would have lost 2.
Yeah.
If one won, then the other one would have lost 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
And well, the unlikeliest of teams got the 3 points.
A good quote was 3 goals were scored in that game, and none of them by Spurs. Score was 2-1,
Yeah.
but none of them by Spurs.
Beating 3-0 at Old Trafford, United 3-0 at Old Trafford, and then losing 2-1 to Watford. That's the most Spurs-y thing that could have ever happened.
Yeah.
Like, bottled it.
Lads,
And
fun.
it's not like I mean, apart from that one Harry Kane chance at the end, it's not like Spurs created too many chances. Watford were quite compact. Their defense was insane. They were close to Harry Kane and Lucas Moura. They kept them in check. The fullbacks, Jan Mato is having an insane game. Holebas with the assist for the second goal to Troy. Troy Deeney. Yeah, and
Yep, totally.
and Watford had more chances. It was clear that
it was clearly a Watford game.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Well, I can't say anything about Spurs. It's not like they had a midweek game or anything. Just probably the highs of United were just too much that they thought they could handle Watford as well.
Could be, but another good test would be that next week you have Watford playing United again.
Yeah,
so,
and Spurs playing Liverpool.
Spurs playing Liverpool. So let's see what happens. Hopefully, we have some arrest in Liverpool's.
Yeah, or we have like, I mean, I don't know what for, man. This could be like, I don't think it'll be a Leicester story, but it could be a Burnley story.
Because I feel like sure, could be a Burnley story. I just feel like it's been too long since we had a tight league. Yes. It's always been one team pulling. For the last few years, it's been like either Chelsea or City or even relatively Leicester just pulling off and like kind of like ending the thing of like, oh my god, it's 1 point difference between the top two teams. So hopefully we have that this year. Let's hope Spurs beat Liverpool next week. Hey. Anyway, I think we should sign off now, and that was game week number 4.
Yep.
Hope you guys have a wonderful international break. Find cool things to do. Think about some new ways to enjoy our life.
Yeah, I mean, this international break's a little different because it's now the Nations League, right? So they have the international teams do have something to play for. It's not like it was a boring
friendlies. Yeah,
I like that. I like that concept. At least that gives them some kind of a
and gives us something to watch too.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Anyway, so I think that's the end of it, and thank you for tuning in. Do like, share, and subscribe. We will. And do give us comments on what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. And yeah, tune in next week for week after for game week number 5.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in.